Today I'm going to give you a quick training about real estate appointment setting for real estate investors. You can check out my other video about real estate appointment setting tutorial for beginners. It would have different terminologies and different information that you have to know for appointment setting for a real estate investor and for a real estate agent. I will be creating different videos for this tutorial, so at least we would have enough time to tackle each and every aspect of the real estate appointment setting. Okay, today we're going to talk about the real estate appointment setting virtual assistant tasks. Okay, what are the roles, what is your job, and how are you going to be able to qualify a lead for your client. All right, before we start, I just want to quickly tell you that if you are looking for a job that is stable or that has longevity or that will give you more earnings, I guess real estate appointment setting is one of the best ways or one of the best services that you can offer in freelancing. I hope this tutorial would help you identify if this is something that fits your skills or if this is something that fits your personality. I manage an agency with my husband, and we are getting tremendous amount of interest from real estate investors every day that are looking for real estate VAs. So if you are a beginner and if you are confused of what kind of skills or services that you can offer, I suggest that you may start with appointment setting for real estate. Okay, now without further ado, I'm gonna go ahead and discuss the real estate appointment setting. So what is real estate investment? Okay, so first we have to understand what kind of clients are we going to be working with if we become a real estate virtual assistant. So these are the people that are doing real estate investment. What is that? What is a real estate investor? What is real estate investment? I want to explain it very simple only. Someone that does real estate investment is someone involved with purchase, ownership, management, rental, and or sale of a real estate for profit. So basically, if I'm a real estate investor, I'm going to purchase a property for a cheaper price, okay, and bargain for it by most likely paying cash for it, and then after that I'm gonna sell it for a higher price. Okay, or I could have it as a rental property and get a passive income, but still I'm getting money from that, so I'm still investing, and eventually I can sell it when the market is good. All right, or you can be someone that's going to buy a property that is not in a good condition, and then you are going to invest money in that to fix it and then sell it for the market value, but you bought it at a cheaper price. Okay, so those are the different types of investment. You don't really have to know those details. You just gotta understand that your client that you're gonna be working with is someone that would like to get something that he can get a property for and pay cash for a very low price, so he would have a good profit after that. Either sell it, either by selling it or by renting it out, fixing it, or selling it later. Whatever he does, it doesn't matter. It's not your problem. Your problem is just one thing, which is that he spends the least amount of money for that property as much as possible. All right, what are your roles as a virtual assistant? Okay, number one, of course, you have to cold call homeowners. So basically you will be given a list of numbers. Most likely your client will have a dialer. It could be a Mojo dialer, or it could be, a call rail or any kind of dialer, as long as it's something that's going to enable you to make calls continuously. Because if you're going to do it manually, it wouldn't be as effective, because you'll be given number of leads, you'll be given a lot of leads to call, and if you dial it manually one by one, it would take hours and it's not very effective. So the client knows that. Most of the clients that I worked with in real estate appointment setting already have dialer. Okay, of course, your role is to find someone who is interested to sell, who is looking to sell. All right, we're going to discuss later on how do you define someone that's interested to sell. All right, so because everyone can say they are interested to sell. If I hear that someone is going to buy my property for cash, of course I'm going to say that I'm interested to sell, but I'm going to think that I'm going to get a much higher price for my property, right? Next is, after identifying that they're interested to sell, you have to set up an appointment, okay, for your client to come over. Some clients prefer to just do it on the phone. Some clients prefer to meet in person. So it's up to your client what kind of setup he wants, okay? And lastly, pre-qualify the leads. So when we say pre-qualify the leads, of course, when you set up an appointment, you're going to make sure that this appointment is solid, or it meets the criteria that is necessary for, for a lead. I'll be discussing that later. All right. So how do you actually pre-qualify a lead? All right. Of course, in order for you to pre-qualify a lead, you have to um, know the contact details of the person. Okay. So when you say that um, contact details, of course, you already know the phone number because you contacted the lead using your using that number. But you have to ask, if possible, if there are alternative numbers. You have to ask the email address of the client, and then you have to confirm the address, because sometimes it's on the system, but you know you're talking about different addresses, so you have to confirm that this is the address, especially as if the client, if your boss or your client is going to come over to see it. All right. And of course, you have to confirm if the person that you're talking to is the owner, or if there's anyone in the title that would need to be there, or that would need to make a decision. Now, next is motivation. You have to know why they are selling the house. Next is asking price. You have to know how much money they're actually looking to get in selling the property. You have to know the timeline to sell. You have to know when they're going to be ready to move out of the house. And of course, you have to know the condition of the home. Okay, so these are the actually, the contact details is not part of the pre-qualifying lead method, but I just included it there to make sure that you guys would remember it. But originally, this is just what we call four pillars of um, four pillars of qualifying a lead. All right. So what are the four pillars of pre-qualifying a lead? Remember earlier I told you that your client will be paying cash for the property. So that means if they're paying cash, they would want to pay as least amount as possible. So you have to make sure that your client, I mean, in order for the lead to be a good lead on the client's perspective, your lead has to be willing to sell for a discounted price. Sometimes you will be given a system to use to check the price if the price is right. Sometimes you wouldn't be given that. I haven't been given a tool to do that. So what I usually do is I go to Zillow.com. So all you gotta do is to go to Google, and then go ahead and look for example, for this address. If you type an address in Google, all right, you would be able to see different results for a specific address. For example, on this one, for example, your lead's address is 28901 Scotland Street in Farmington Hills. Okay, now automatically, once you put that on Google, it would show you different results of that address. What you want to do is to go to Zillow.com and click that, and it will give you a lot of information about the property. So it would give you the number of bedrooms, bathrooms, and the address, and also all the other information. But what you're looking for here, if you are thinking about the price, is here. Zestimate. It's not accurate, okay? Sometimes it's too high, sometimes it's too low, because the public record is not updated, but at least you know the ballpark, okay? Now, a client is actually looking to spend 70% or less, 70% of market value or less. Okay, so if your client, if for example you're talking to a lead who owns the property at Scotland Street, and that lead told you that my asking price is $500,000, and that person didn't do any recent updates on the property, then that means that the asking price is not realistic. Okay, and so what you're looking at here is someone that would be willing to sell, say, around 250, 200 or below. All right. So on this one, this would help you identify if your client is just, testing the waters if it's a good time to sell, or just wanted to hear an offer. Okay, so next is motivation. So you have to know why are they interested to sell the property? What is the reason? um, you may feel like if you are a beginner that it's not your business, it's none of your business to ask this information, but there's a proper way of asking it. Okay, so when you say motivated, what is a good lead, or what do we consider a good motivation for a lead to sell the property? If the property is vacant, so nobody's living in the property at all, it's been sitting there without no one living in it, it's inherited. So that means, because in the US, if you inherit a property, there would be a lot of steps in order for you to get it, so it's kind of stressful for them. So sometimes the people who inherited the property would just end up selling it. Okay, foreclosed, so these are the properties that owners aren't able to sustain the payment. Bad tenants, so they have rented the property but the tenants aren't paying, or they're just ruining the property. Relatives live in the house, so this is a kind of property that's, it's not vacant, but your relatives are living in there and that they're not paying. That's just a scenario. It could also be because of high debt or bills that, for example, taxes that they're no longer able to pay because of divorce, because they are separating, they would have to sell the house to split the money. Hoarders, which are the people that have been collecting different things, but really it's trash inside their house. That's why there's a lot of clutter, and it has to be cleaned. And also, anyone that's behind on payments. So these are good motivations that you can take note of, but it's not limited to this only. There's a lot of different motivations that you might hear. Why do you have to know the motivation of the person? You have to dig deeper, because again, you wouldn't want to have someone that's just wanting to sell because they heard a call they got a call from you, right? They weren't thinking about selling until you called. So it's not a good lead if that's the case. Condition of the property. These investors that you're going to work with are looking for a property to buy which needs a lot of TLC. So a property that would need a lot of repairs. Okay, why? Because they would need to be able to bargain for the price, and they wouldn't be able to do that if the property is in a pristine condition, right? So it has to be a fixer upper, which is a property that uh, is not ready for move-in. It has to be fixed first. So it has to be that, so that they can bargain the amount of money. These investors will have negotiation tactics once they send the offer. So it would be to their leverage, or it will be to their advantage to have a property that is needing a lot of repairs. Okay, because then they would have something to use to negotiate a lower price or a lower offer. Okay, now it has to be something that they want to sell in 30 days or less, or have a deadline, or they have been thinking of selling for a while. So basically, the owner should be looking at selling for a while. It's not just because you know they heard your voice and that you're offering a cash, that they haven't thought about it in the past. It has to be something that they have been thinking for a while in the back of their head, right? And they have to have a deadline, like they have to be out of the house like in 30 days or 40 days. So, and it's also something that you have to know the timeline, because transactions for real estate investors, they don't go through a mortgage or approval of the bank. They go directly to the owner. So there aren't a lot of long transaction process. So you have to know how long are they able to move out, if it's okay with them to move out right away, or if they want to move out right away, or if they need to move out right away. It's very important, because then the client wouldn't be able to use that also to bargain for the price. Okay, so those are the four pillars of pre-qualifying. So that's just about it for now. Our next video will be about the script that you can use to pre-qualify leads, to set the appointment, I would like you to subscribe to my channel if you haven't already, so that you will be updated on the new videos that I'll be creating. You can also hit the notification bell, and if you have any questions, feel free to send me a message and like my page. My Facebook page is via Jessie work from home tutorials. I would have a lot of postings in there. Please go there too, and then like my video if you like it. Comment down below if you have any questions, or if you have other home work from home tutorials that you want me to do. Again, this is very Jessie, and I hope that I was able to impart important things to you. I hope that I would be able to help you in your freelancing journey. Thank you so much for your time, and I'll see you on my next video. Thank you. Bye.